Oh my goodness, this thing is powerful. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going over a 2020 Ford F-150 Harley Davidson edition. And no, this isn't just an aesthetic package. This truck literally has over 700 horsepower. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Ed Kenley Ford here in Layton, Utah for providing us with the Harley Davidson F-150. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get right into the video. Under the hood, we have a supercharged 5-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, there's a few upgrades that get this to over 700 horsepower. Yes, it's got a Whipple supercharger on it, and then it does have upgraded fuel injectors, and then there is an upgraded intercooler, which I'm not sure if you guys can see that. But yeah, pretty cool setup, and the fact this has over 700 horsepower in a pickup truck is absolutely insane. Now let's go over the front end on the Harley Davidson edition. So first and foremost, yes, you've got this massive hood here, and yes, it actually helps with some airflow with the little scoop right there. And then this is actually straight from the Raptor. It's the same little thing that a Raptor has, which is pretty cool. And you got a little supercharged logo right there. And then it's got the normal F-150 headlights at the front. You actually do get a little LED light bar there at the bottom. I love the orange accenting here on the front. It's kind of coming through as red on the camera, but in person it's definitely orange. But yeah, other than that, the front end is just like massive and imposing, and then also with those upgraded tires it has, it just makes it look even more aggressive. Now coming around the side here, we've got 22s. Yes, that's 22s with 35s wrapped around them in the front and then also in the rear. And yes, the truck is lifted as well. The speedometer has been recalibrated, and then on top of that, this has specialty Fox shocks with the truck as well, so it's all custom and all set up. But I think you guys should appreciate these wheels again, because look how cool these wheels are. Yes, you've got the Harley Davidson logo on it, and yeah, I just think it's such a cool look. I normally don't like 22s on a truck, but I think this is done in like a really tasteful way. Now looking at the side of the truck, it is absolutely massive. It's crazy how big it is. You got a little Harley Davidson logo right there. You guys can kind of see that on the side, and then you've got the logo there down below at the bottom. But the important thing is here in the rear, again, you can see the specialty Fox shocks that come with the truck. Again, it was made specifically for this truck, so I think that's just pretty neat, and it's cool to see Fox shocks on a lifted truck like this. Now taking a look in the back here, yes, this has like the bed carpet, so you can pick that up. It's connected via Velcro, but is across the whole bed. And then it does have the cap there at the top that you can see. That helps you pull it back down into place. But other than that, I mean, it's a normal bed. It just has like all of the carpeting, which is always interesting to see. Finishing things up in the back, you got the Harley Davidson there on the rear, and you have the custom exhaust tips, which I'll get you guys an exhaust clip quickly, but also we'll get like a more full-blown exhaust clip later in the video. But yeah, other than that, that is the rear end of the truck. It looks really good. I just love all of the custom accenting and how everything's also just like blacked out here on the back. To the door panel in the rear, you can see we've got this kind of like metallic black trim, and then you've got the carbon fiber accenting right there. But this is the important part, the seats. So beautiful leather on the seats, and then you can see the orange contrasted stitching with the quilted design on the seats, just very premium looking, and it goes along with that Harley Davidson theme, which I absolutely love. And well, we're gonna pop in. So stepping in, the side steps definitely make it easy to get in, because this is a really high up off the ground truck. You guys can see I've got a good amount of leg room. If you're wondering, I'm 5'11", and they got all the blacked out trim here on the interior again, just to match with everything else. And then this thing is identical to every other F-150, but again, I just love the look of these seats, especially with that quilted design. Looking at the door panel here at the front, nothing has changed. You can see you still got the soft touch here, the carbon fiber trim, and then you do have the blacked out accent around the little window switches, all of your window controls, your memory seats, door lock and unlock as well. But this is the cool part. So again, you've got the really nice leather seats with the stitching Harley Davidson logo with the quilted design, which just looks really good. Got the Harley Davidson plaque right there, adjustments for the seats, and then also they did custom pedals, so you don't have the little plastic pedals that all the regular F-150s have. And then you got your adjustments for the pedals, your parking brake, light controls. This is for that little light bar at the front, your steering wheel adjustment, and that is everything before we pop in. Now looking at the steering wheel in the truck, you can see this part of the steering wheel is identical even with the stitching. The change right here on the steering wheel is going to be the blacked out trim on the steering wheel itself. That is the biggest difference. All the controls on the steering wheel are the same though. And so from a steering wheel perspective, it's cool with the blacked out trim because it matches the rest of the theme, but it's just like any other F-150 steering wheel. Here with the gauge cluster, the screen in the center is identical. That is unchanged. And remember, they did calibrate the speedometer with the lift and the shocks that this has, so it's all good and ready to go. I love the custom gauges on the side though, how they're orange. And again, it kind of looks reddish on the camera, but I promise you in person, it's more orange than anything else. It looks really cool in general though. Oh boy, this truck means business. You got a 93 octane sticker on it. You can put 91, but as the sticker states, you recommend 93, no lower than 91. Anyways, coming to the screen, you can see this has all the normal stuff. So you got like the camera set up, you got little bird's eye view, and trust me, this is not a regular F-150. I know the camera view says differently, but this truck definitely is not. With the rest of the infotainment system, it's all the same. So it's cool that you can get a 700 horsepower lifted truck and still get a normal infotainment system. Nothing weird. The reason I'm showing all this so you guys can see the blacked out trim around all of the vents that has been added. That is really neat. And then we can see the full power outlet right there. You've got the analog radio controls, you've got the climate controls. It is a dual zone climate, still get heated and ventilated seats, so it's cool that they give you that feature. Drive line select, yes, you can go into 4-wheel drive with 700 horsepower. Just let that sink in for a minute. Axle locker in the rear, and then you've got the trailer backup system. And then this is the whole like shifter area. So again, you can shift the gears yourself with that 10-speed automatic with that shifter. A couple cup holders, and then you've got the carbon fiber trim right here, which you can see underneath there is some extra storage. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But the cool part is the center console. So again, really nice logo right here. I just love how they have that on the center console. It looks really cool. Inside the center console, it's all normal. It's just the lid. It looks so sweet. I'll show this to you guys so you can see the glove box normal right there. You've got the carbon fiber trim, all the soft touch along the dash, so they didn't change any of that. And up top here we actually have a power sliding window, and then we've got the full panoramic sunroof, and everything else up here is just regular F-150, so they didn't really make any changes up to the top, but it does have a black headliner which matches the rest of the truck. Now, since this is a specialty truck, I want to show you guys the window sticker on it so you guys can go over all of the exact options this one has. So first off, yep, you do have the regular window sticker there at the top. That's not important. This is the important sticker. So as you can see, if you want to freeze the frame on any single parts, you can see all of the equipment that this actually comes with from the factory on the truck, the performance. That's like the most important part. But we can see here $107,430 for the total MSRP. And that all being said, let's take this Harley Davidson edition out and see how she drives. Well, let's quickly talk about visibility here in this Harley Davidson F-150 before we set off. So you can see visibility over the hood. It looks the same as a Raptor again because of that. I mean, that's literally taken straight off of a Raptor. And then you can see visibility through both of the mirrors. Nothing's changed there. And then throughout the rear, and again, nothing has changed even with the little bed cap on it. You're just really high off the ground, and well, let's set off. We are setting off here in the Harley Davidson Edition F-150, and this is a loud truck. Like, this is a loud truck. You can hear, like, listen. You can hear the supercharger so much, and I am barely getting on it. Like, this truck, I can already tell you, is absolutely just going to be insane. And it's not intimidating at all. Like, it has a ton of low end torque, obviously, because it's got 700 horsepower, but like, you can drive it like a normal truck. It doesn't like spin out like crazy or anything like that. It just, again, it drives like a normal truck. But yeah, this thing, it's so sweet. Well, as you can see, we're about to be getting on the interstate, and this is actually good to show the handling of the vehicle, because this is kind of like a sharper turn you got to make. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's like partial throttle. Oh my goodness, this thing is powerful. This is a lot of power. Oh boy. Okay, well, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. Oh my gosh. There's so many sounds And this truck has so much power. Oh, I think my hands are getting a little sweaty, to be honest. Like, this is an exciting vehicle. I love vehicles like this. Like, obviously from the outside it looks crazy, but then it just drives crazy too. Yes, there's a little bit of noise coming from the 22s. I kind of expected that. When you've got really big wheels and not as much tire, it usually tends to be louder, especially if it's like a more aggressive tire like this is. But it's not bad by any means. The ride quality though is actually really good. Like, it is really smooth. And before we get off the interstate, you're welcome. Yeah, that sounds really good. The exhaust, you guys heard the exhaust earlier, it sounds really good. So like between the supercharger and the exhaust, it just has like a very just like aggressive sound to it. Like, it doesn't sound like anything else out there on the truck market right now. It's super, super unique. And let's see how the brakes perform, because obviously if you got 700 horsepower in a big old pickup truck, you got to be able to stop. Yeah, the brakes work really well too. I'm really impressed with this truck. I was going into this thinking, oh, this is just going to be a crazy lifted truck, but it is way more than that. Like, they did a really good job with the whole setup on this truck, just from a performance standpoint and also from a drivability standpoint. Like, look, partial throttle, just like doing a normal acceleration like you would when you're just getting up and going in town. It's not hard to maneuver. It's really high off the ground, but it's not bad or anything. Like, this is a really good truck. I'm so surprised. This is one of the biggest surprises I've had in terms of truck reviews that I've done. So I guess getting into finalizing things on this Harley Davidson edition, obviously if you love the motorcycles, this is the truck for you. And I mean, this is probably faster than your motorcycle, let's be honest. 700 horsepower is pretty crazy, but it looks good, it sounds good, it's really fast. Like, it has a stupid amount of power. And just as an overall package, I think it's great. And I just reviewed a Shelby Raptor today that has less power than this. Obviously, that's a completely different truck with the off-road stuff, but this is less expensive than that truck somehow. And I kind of like it more. It's a cool truck. Definitely check one out. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2020 Ford F-150 Harley Davidson edition. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Ed Kenley Ford here in Layton, Utah for providing us with the truck. Check out the inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.